This is Gregory from Dapp University. So today I've got another guest on the channel. I've got Kazi here from Clever Programmer. So welcome to the channel, Kazi.
Thank you, bro. How's it going?
It's going great, man. So I've brought Kazi on today for a really specific reason, all right? So a lot of you have seen all my tutorials about building blockchain technology, teaching you how to write smart contracts with Ethereum and JavaScript. And I've also done some content that's focused on Python, right? Web3 is a really popular library for interacting with blockchain. And, that's one way to build blockchain apps, is to leverage Python and build backends that, pull in data from the blockchain, create transactions that way. And I'm happy to bring Kazi on today because he's a real Python expert to talk about, how to up your Python chops.
Yep. Thanks for having me on here. And Python definitely does go hand in hand with blockchain and many other technologies, especially with the trend of how a lot of technology is going to be going towards data science, machine learning. And I think decentralization and blockchain is going to be a huge part of it. So thanks for bringing me on, and I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah, totally. So Kazi and I were talking, and he's put together something that's a masterclass for people who want to up their skills in Python. So tell me a little bit about that. Maybe give me a sneak peek at what I might learn in there, right? Like, what's the opportunity like for a Python developer?
Yep. So the opportunity for Python developers in 2019 going to 2020 and beyond is actually really, really massive. And we, in this masterclass, which is called the Profitable Programmer Masterclass, really show developers how you can go from zero to becoming a successful Python freelancer. Because when I started, I wanted to never have to do 9 to 5. I wasn't a fan of full-time work, a lot of it. And then for me, I also wanted to be able to do something that could support my mom, because when my dad went for the military to work and he went overseas, my mom needed somebody to be there with her. So I needed to be able to work remotely so I could help my mom, because she has a lot of health problems. So I wanted to be able to help her make good income and then still actually have a cool lifestyle. I found upon Python, I discovered it. And then as I started improving my skill set and my soft skills around negotiation, I was able to start doing a lot of freelancing work from online platforms like Upwork or Craigslist. And I scaled my income to, $80,000 to $100,000 a year while I was going to, UIC college in Chicago. And I'm very, very passionate about teaching developers how they can break out of their 9 to 5, and just people in general who want to break out of their 9 to 5 and take advantage of this opportunity. It's very difficult, but if you put in the amount of work and you enjoy it, it's something that could be really fun, really intellectually stimulating, and it's very, very profitable.
Yeah, very cool. I resonate with a lot of the points in that story, different details, but I had a very similar story where I got into tech in general. This is before I got into blockchain, but, became a programmer and knew I wanted to be a freelancer and leverage some of those opportunities. And yeah, I was able to kind of jump in really fast with the help of a few mentors and scale up to do kind of similar to what you're talking about. So that's awesome.
Amazing. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I can totally vouch. I know a lot of Python programmers, I've done Python on professional projects, especially with blockchain as well. And yeah, the demand is sky high. And for somebody who's like, getting into technology in general and trying to figure out what they want to specialize in, I was asking another mentor the other day, like if they had to start in square one and pick something, blockchain was high on their list, and a lot of the technologies that use Python were also up there on the list. So I'm 100% with you. Python is a big in blockchain. You see that a lot as a skill that people are looking for when they're trying to hire blockchain developers. So I think Kazi's right on the money.
Yeah, I do agree with this, and there's something to be said about like what kind of trends you're seeing. I mean, just the other day, I was researching and I was like, whoa, in Python is taking over the trends, Google trends over even something as popular as JavaScript. and is currently the #1 most questioned language on Stack Overflow, which tells me that a lot of engineers are looking this up. And then you have, I mean, depending on who your audience is. So I just want to give an overview of like what types of people are using it. So you have people who are working in NASA using Python. Instagram is built off of Python. You know, Google, a lot of that is built off of Python. Instagram, a lot of it is using Django and Python. And so if you have a lot of these big platforms that we use on a daily basis that are used with Python, to me, it makes sense that there's good opportunity that exists there. Now it's just a matter of becoming skilled, and then a matter of, you know, getting those soft skills in how you can actually land clients, keep the customers, build that trust. And honestly, most people are just one client away from being able to live remotely, because most people's expenses are pretty low. So I really think that people could have a lot of freedom in their lifestyle and not have that fear that they always have. Because if people have a job, John Sonmez, you know, who is, I believe, you know, one of your mentors as well, and I really respect the guy from Simple Programmer, and he says in his books, Soft Skills, that if you have one job, that's essentially like having just one client. You know, that's just one client. So if you have a job, it's actually very risky, because you literally have one client. If that one client goes away or doesn't want to give you business anymore, you're pretty screwed. Now, on the other hand, if you start to get 1, 2, 3 clients on your own, and even if they're paying you less, that kind of diversification makes you a lot more stable in whatever it is that you're doing in life. And so that's why I'm such a big proponent of the opportunity of, one, Python that exists, and two, becoming a freelancer. I think that is what's really, really exciting for me.
Yeah, totally. So, you know, if somebody wanted to get started today, kind of, you know, down this path, what are some just basic advice that you give somebody?
Somebody wants to get started, the basic advice I give that is very, very overlooked is, I jokingly call this learn, which just basically means earn while you learn. And most people miss that a lot. Like, for example, okay, if I'm just going to share my screen for a second, but if somebody's learning Python for the first time, or any language at all, I would say 1 month or 2 months in, literally sign up for a platform like wiseant.com, where you can tutor somebody else and teach them. So even if you're 2 months in, vast majority of the people are actually behind you, right? So you can actually teach them coding. If you even look up Python here, you will find that there are a lot of opportunities for Python developers, and they're charging a lot. So let me see if I can just skip to go to my results. There's people charging $100 an hour teaching Python, okay. $60 an hour teaching Python, $40 an hour. This was actually one of my first mentors, Jean Benoit. I paid him to learn programming in Python from him.
Wow.
And you don't have to be an expert. Most of the people, keep in mind, who are coming to learn from tutors are beginners. So few months in, if you develop a good skill set, I'm talking about you're putting in 5 to 8 hours a day, if you can manage, you can be teaching other people in 1 to 2 months and be earning very realistically $1,000 extra per month. You know, I just say it to be safe, so it sounds realistic to everyone who's listening. But you can really scale it high. Like, I personally scaled these platforms much, much, much higher than $1,000 a month. There are other platforms like Take Lessons, which is very, very similar to tutoring. And one more thing I always tell people when they're looking into freelancing is always go to upwork.com and look up some kind of freelancing opportunities there. There's tons of them. So I'm going to stop there, because that's just a snippet of a lot of what we actually cover in the masterclass. But these are some really tactical tips that you can apply in no matter what you're doing. Even if you're learning blockchain right now and you're 2-3 months in, honestly, you could actually be teaching somebody, because there's a demand for it. You know, even in one of your emails I saw, you said there's 517% year-over-year growth in blockchain. So you can teach that to somebody and be making an income on the side. So this is one of the things that I recommend to people who are getting into programming. Learn the skills, one. Two, teach it while earning an income so you can be making $1,000 to $2,000 a month or more. That way, you're using the Feynman technique to not only improve your coding skills massively, pressure of teaching somebody else, but you're also earning an income, which is great. And then step 3 is where you really start trying to freelance. That's the step that, because it's a little bit more advanced, and then you go into freelancing. I think that is a path somebody who's a complete beginner can take.
Yeah, I think that's great. And coming from somebody who, jumped into software engineering and kind of, I tried to skip a couple of those steps because I was a little desperate at the time.
Yeah.
But looking back, and like, I've helped a lot of other people just in my personal life get into programming before I started this YouTube channel, before I started creating blockchain tutorials. And I've kind of seen what different people like to do, because it's not always about what you're capable of. Some people just don't like that really fast paced, just sort of like do it as hard as you can, as fast as you can. Some people want that more sort of cut and dry approach. I think that's really solid.
Yep. And even what we're doing, right? If anybody's watching and they're your fan and they've followed you for a while, like, guys, just take a look at what's happening at Dapp University. You're teaching people, right? So you're essentially a tutor at scale, right? So there's clearly a demand for it, and there are digital products that people want to, join from you and then learn from you. Same thing with me, where I am a tutor at scale and I'm helping people. Obviously, it's more than tutor, right? We're showing people that there's an opportunity and it's possible, and then we will try to provide support and do all that we can. But this is why I mentioned this is one of a very realistic path and a very clear path to getting a solid source of income, whether you're into blockchain or Python, or you want to combine Python and blockchain.
Yeah, totally. And one other thing that you said that I kind of want to reiterate is how you don't want to underestimate your usefulness when you're new, and how much compared to somebody who knows nothing. And the one thing I want to emphasize here is that you might actually be more effective at helping a square one beginner because you know what it's like to be a square one beginner. And people who are years and years and years and years and years down that road kind of forget what it's like.
Yep, they do. 100%. And you're actually more relevant. It's almost like, remember when you were younger and you were in a math class and you were having problem because however the teacher was explaining it, you weren't understanding it, but then you asked a friend and maybe that friend explained it a lot better, even though they were way underqualified from the professor, right? It's because the friend was able to relate to you more.
Right.
So you're essentially just doing that for somebody else, where they can relate to somebody else and maybe they can relate better to you because you're closer to them. The same reason why you wouldn't want to learn swimming from Michael Phelps. He's been too good for way too long, right? And he was, when he was 6, he was good. And then there's this other guy's name is Shinji Takushi, and he started at 37, became a world champion at 39, beat out Michael Phelps' record. Now that's the guy you want to learn from, right? So if you want to learn from the person who was like right there. So this is why if you're teaching somebody else and you were right there, it makes you really relevant. And I think it probably makes us relevant too when we're teaching, because we're younger, we maybe resonate with people more, and then we have a simpler style of teaching. I like to keep it very, very simple because I almost think like I'm a little slow in certain things, where other people will get something really fast. I'm like, no. But then I break it down so simply that I think it makes it easier for vast majority of people to understand.
Sure. Yeah, totally. And yeah, I think ultimately it's good to have both, right? It's good to have somebody who has just learned something who can help you, and then have that expert, when maybe somebody who's just a few steps ahead of you doesn't know the answer. I think, having both of those is a dangerous combination.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, totally. So what else is going on, Kazi? What, as far as what people can expect out of opportunities in Python, and what are some other reasons they might want to be getting involved?
Right. So there's a lot of stuff happening in Python, right? Whether it's web development or machine learning or data science, Python is growing a lot because of those things. And, in 2030, 800 million jobs are going to be taken over by AI. Lyft and Uber are already the self-driving cars that are coming out. So a lot of those things are going to be taken over by AI, data science, machine learning, and also people who can do web development. So Python is very good for being able to do all of those things pretty well. And in this masterclass, Profitable Programmer Masterclass that I've put together, which is free, that essentially talks about those big opportunities that exist and then how somebody can be able to monetize them, make an income from it, and what's basically the plan of attack for somebody who wants to become a Python freelancer.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit more about this masterclass. So I'm going to put a link down in the video description below so you can check out the masterclass. What else can they expect out of there? You talked about the opportunities that are there in Python. You kind of gave us some hints on how to get started with tutoring and freelancing. What else?
Yep. So this is a 4-part masterclass. 3 parts are going to be recorded trainings that are really valuable. For example, in the first training, you're going to get your Python potential. So what's your potential income that you can be making based on your current skill set, and how many clients you need to make, how much, monthly income. And it depends on your monthly goal, because everybody is going to have a different goal. Somebody who wants to just travel and live in like Bali, Indonesia, and have their living expenses super low, they are happy making $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month. So this calculator is gonna allow you. I've created a Python potential calculator that essentially allows you to tweak those numbers automatically, and it figures out what's that optimal income for you that fits your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. In the second part of the training, you are going to be able to get a free portfolio as a web developer. So you can have access to this portfolio, and this is a portfolio you can, eventually put your projects on and then show this to your clients. And then in the third masterclass, you are going to see what exactly is the roadmap for somebody who wants to become a Python freelancer. So that's where in the negotiation phase, we go a little bit deeper on that. But this entire masterclass in simple terms really lays out the path for you in terms of how to go from 0 to $2,000 or $3,000 or even more per month in income as a Python freelancer or a developer, the overall opportunity. And then part 4 is essentially going to be a live training where I'm going to be live, and I'm going to give you a live training for 35, 45 minutes. And at the end of that, I'm going to pitch my paid program called Profitable Programmer. So If you find everything that I've delivered to you over the whole week valuable, then you have the chance to join the Profitable Programmer course. If you didn't find it valuable, not a problem. You just don't join the course. But I wanted to make it that even if you don't join the course, you get massive amount of value that hopefully can, if not change your life, really help make it clear what your path should be when you're trying to become a developer. And a lot of these steps that I'm sharing, they work both for whether you want to specifically become a developer in Python, or maybe you want to increase your game as just a blockchain developer. I still genuinely think it's going to bring you a lot of value.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. That's awesome. So guys, check the link down below. Like I said, I'm going to put the link for this masterclass. I'm going to join the masterclass myself and learn a little bit more about some Python here. Yeah. Awesome, Kazi. Well, I think, I've learned a lot today from our conversation. Before we wrap up here, is there anything else that you kind of want the people watching to know?
Yeah, guys, this is awesome. If you have any personal questions or anything, literally reach out to me on Instagram if you want. It's at Clever Kazi. We'll put a little thing at somewhere. But like I DM and I respond to everyone on there, like literally with a video message. So if you're curious and you're like, is this real? Like, who is this guy? I want to know. Or maybe you have some question. That's okay. Maybe this is your first time seeing me, and that's totally fine. Message me on there, and hopefully I can serve you and answer some questions. I just want to make sure that you get the best experience.
Yeah, yeah, very cool, awesome. We'll put some link to that in the description below as well, so you guys can reach out to Kazi on Instagram. Awesome, man. Well, Kazi, so thanks so much for coming on the channel today. Like I said, this has been super educational. I've learned a lot from our conversation. Everybody, check out the link for the Profitable Programmer Masterclass. I'm excited to catch this content myself. So as always, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the like button down below if you haven't already. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.